Okay, good morning. It's 9:44. While waiting for the others to get in, we can start getting ready to begin. 9:44. I promised we begin on the dot 9:45, and so we begin at 9:45. And okay, well, good morning to everyone. I think it's good to I think it's good to ask, like what I gave you as a strategy yesterday, at the scale of 1 to 3, 3 being the you're in your best position, disposition, you're in your best state to be able to attend this seminar for all reasons. Two, if type in the chat box. Two, if there is one or two concerns hanging that you have to leave behind, and so you're not 100% all set for this. One is there are so many other things you need to do, and you really rather be somewhere else. Okay, honesty is okay. uh, Three, if you're in your best disposition and all set to go, raring to discuss our topic today, developing grit, resilience, and empathy. And two, if there are a few things left hanging, and so you're not 100% here. And one is, well, really, if you had a choice, you'd rather be somewhere else. Okay, well, fantastic. All three so far I've seen here. I suppose those who want to put two or one would rather not put it there. And so, okay, I understand you very well. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for the responses. We're all set. It's 9:46, and I think it's appropriate that we begin now our session. And I'd like to invite you, like we did yesterday, to go to St. Joseph, asking him for this very important task we are preparing ourselves for, which is make a difference in the lives of our students. And so we invoke the master teacher of the master teacher, St. Joseph. We go to him not just because it's his feast day tomorrow or no, 2 days from now, but also because we are in the year of Saint Joseph. And so this prayer of teachers to Saint Joseph, in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, amen. O blessed Saint Joseph, guardian of the child Jesus, we pray that you will help us in our daily troubles and tribulations, as we try to pass on to our students all the teachings that they need to be able to succeed in their chosen professions. Help us to teach and help them to learn. Guide us all as you guided your most holy Son, Jesus. Obtain for us the graces we need, not only to teach and to learn, but to stay on the path shown by the light of Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Great. Well, we invoke Saint Joseph also because he is the terror of demons. Okay, it's one of the titles given by the church to him. If you have gone over the litany of Saint Joseph, one of the titles the church gives him is the terror of demons. And yesterday we talked a lot about demons that we are fighting against in the formation of our students. The demon of laziness, the demon of attachment, the demon of impurity, lack of modesty, the problem of teen pregnancies. And then I mentioned to you the fact that there are people, powerful people today, who are taking advantage of this year's um, 500th anniversary of Christianization of the Philippines to push their agenda of SAD, same-sex union, abortion, and divorce in the Philippines. Okay? I mean, I'll tell you a story of the there was a gathering of the diplomats in the Philippines. I think that was either Christmas or to start the new year. And the new papal nuncio to the Philippines was, of course, there because he acts as the dean of the diplomats. And there were some diplomats who approached him and told him, by the way, this year we are going to advocate and push, give a big push to legalization of same-sex union, abortion, and divorce in the Philippines. Please do not interfere. That was the message they gave the papal nuncio. I mean, that's how bad things have become. So, itong seminar natin, nitong linggo na to, is our response. Okay? Nandyan kayo, lalaban kami. Sisiguraduhin namin ang mga estudyante entrusted to our care will be pro-life, pro-morality, and lalaki silang men and women of character with the right values. Ito ang ating response. Of course, the church's response is, Saint Joseph, please take over. We need your help. Kailangan namin ng tulong mo to fight these demons that we see in society today. So kahapon, ang pinag-usapan natin ay urgency of character formation, and now more than ever, nakita natin ito ang pinakamahalagang dapat gawin nating mga teachers, parents, adults. Now more than ever, kailangan tayo ng mga kabataan. Kailangan tayo ng mga kabataan para matutunan nila ang tama. Not necessarily simply math, science, and English or whatever subject ang tinuturuan natin. In fact, masasabi natin, nabanggit natin kahapon, science improvement can wait a bit. Math upgrade, pwede yang makapaghintay. English improvement, kasi minsan may ganyang teachers, administrators, sasabihin sa akin, Mr. Antoy, this year, ang aming trust is to strengthen our English communication skills among the students. Very nice. Pero we need to hear more. Nitong taon na to, bibigyan namin ng halaga, pinakamahalaga, pinakamalaking halaga sa pagbibigay ng character formation sa aming estudyante. Tutulungan namin ang aming mga teachers para mas maging effective sila sa kanilang pagbibigay ng character formation. This is important. We talked about this. In the end, ang gusto natin sa mga kabataan ay to be good and to do good. Hindi lang to be good in math, be good in science, be good in English, but especially to be good, period, and to do good, period. Ito ang ating gustong magawa para sa ating mga estudyante. And character means doing good and being good kahit na ito'y napakahirap. Especially ngayon dahil ang daming assaults. Kahapon pinag-usapan natin yung assault on the children. Nandiyan ang addiction, nandiyan ang violence in media, nandiyan ang pornography, hedonism, materialism. Lahat yan nagpapahirap para sa ating mga kabataan na lumaki with the same values na ating kinalakihan, with still the same morals, uprightness. And even when no one is looking, which is really what character is all about. Especially mamayang hapon, pag pinag-usapan natin ng classroom management, bakit may mga bata, may mga estudyante, gumagawa lang ng tama pag binabantayan. Pero pag hindi na binabantayan, basta makakalusot, pipiliting makalusot. I'll give you the principles of Kohlberg. Bakit may mga ganong klaseng tao? Character, kahit walang nakatingin. And character, kahit ang ibang nasa ating kapaligiran, kahit ang nakikita natin sa 24 Oras TV Patrol at sa Action TV, ay hindi men and women of character, even when the others are not. Ito ang gusto nating magawa. You know, throughout history, itong institutions na to, itong tatlong institution, ang responsable for shaping character, forming conscience. Tahanan, eskwelahan, reliyon. Okay? Nandyan tayo, eskwelahan. We play a very important role in the formation of the young people. Pero may problema sa home. Kasi, alam natin to, we now have more and more students pumapasok sa ating classroom and they come from broken families. Many, more and more. In my 34 years in teaching, it's appalling. Grabe ang increase. May isang eskwelahan akong pinagturuan 3 years ago and I was there for 5 years. 60% ng estudyante ko come from broken families. Yung isa, iniwan ng tatay. Yung isa, yung nanay, sumakal bilang bahay. Okay, some of them maybe hindi naman naghiwalay. A number of them single parent. Kasi ang nanay nasa Dubai o kaya ang tatay nasa Saudi. And that is the situation sa Pilipinas. 11 million Filipinos working abroad. At karamihan sa kanila, iniwan ang kanilang anak na nasa eskwelahan pa. Still of school age. Home. That is medyo problematic in many cases these days. School. May problema dito sa Pilipinas. Alam nyo yan. May problema sa sistema. For example, kung sino ang nakaupo sa DepEd, Department of Education, at kung ano ang gusto niya, yun ang nasusunod. No? Nagkaroon tayo ng DepEd Secretary, Kisumbing. Okay, ang gusto niya, values education. Kaya tayo nagka-MAVE sa UANP, MA in Values Education. Tapos pinalitan, iba na ang strategy ng bagong secretary. Tinanggal pa yung values education as a subject. Tapos nagkaroon tayo ng another secretary. Gusto niya naman UBD, Understanding by Design. I spent 3 years going to hundreds of schools around the Philippines giving seminars on Understanding by Design. Hindi pa naintindihan ng karamihang teachers ang totally UBD. Ito na ngayon ang OBE. Andiyan na ngayon ang kung ano ang gusto ng DepEd Secretary, biglang nag-iiba ang sistema. Kailan natin madidinig sa DepEd Secretary sasabihin, gawin nating top priority ang character formation kasi ito ang crisis ngayon. So, school, teka muna, medyo may problema tayo sa Pilipinas. And then religion is supposed to be effective and the most powerful in forming conscience especially. Kaya ngayon, systematically, there are people who are trying to discredit the church, religion, faith, Catholicism. The pharmaceutical companies are pouring in billions to try to destroy the reputation of the church. Ito yung mga pharmaceutical companies that are producing contraceptives and abortifacients. Kasi apparently, consistently, it's only the Catholic Church that stands up to speak up for the unborn, to speak up against the culture of death. So, ang strategy nila for the past more than a decade already is discredit the Catholic Church. Kaya ngayon, minsan magbabasa ka sa news ng tungkol sa mga pare, sa mga obispo, bakit parang laging may slant on scandal, pedophilia, corruption, when those are less than 2% cases of all the priests in the world? They highlight the scandals. Unfortunately, nangyari talaga yon. The pedophilia cases, unfortunately, nangyari talaga yon. But they are very little compared to the thousands of priests you and I know who are holy, who are heroic. Many of them even saints in our midst. Pero this is it. The 3 institutions supposed to be in charge ng formation ng character, ng konsyensya ng mga kabataan, medyo they are shaky right now. And this explains why we are seeing yung crisis na pinag-usapan natin kahapon. The family is supposed to be the first school of virtue. Dapat, sabi daw ng research, pagdating ng bata sa ating classroom, natutunan niya na dapat sa bahay ang respeto, ang hard work, ang responsibility, ang paggalang sa mga matatanda, ang pagbigay galang sa Diyos. Pero alam natin to, hindi na ganito ngayon. May mga batang pumapasok ng eskwelahan natin, ng classroom natin, hindi nila alam ang ibig sabihin ng hard work. Konting assignment ang ibigay mo, may reklamo kagad, no? So, that is the situation. Am I back? Sorry about that. Um, I think I was the one who encountered the namatay yung aking wifi. Uh, okay. Can you hear me? Can you please type in the chat box yes if we're back? Okay. Great. Thank you. My apologies for that. Anyway, as usual, we are recording, so puputulin ko yung naputol na part na yon. Okay, so pinag-uusapan natin the crisis in society today. Pero tanggapin natin, parenting is not the same. Okay? Parenting has become harder than ever. Kasi society has changed. Yan. Families have changed and the peer group has changed. And kahapon, pinag-usapan natin, mindsets have changed. Di ba? Ibang klaseng mindset na ngayon ng mga tao, no? Nabasa ninyo yung lumabas na balita, the doctrine of the faith, di ba? Came out with a response. Sabi ng, how do we call it? The commission or council. Sabi nila, hindi pwedeng bigyan ng basbas ng simbahan ang same-sex union. Ang reason, how can the church bless something that is sinful? And of course, with that, you expect ang daming backlash, no? Ang daming ngayong attacks against the church, against the pope, against the bishops, against our faith. Kasi ang mindset ngayon is love wins. I mean, especially among sa yung mga kabataan, ano? Ang kanilang mindset ngayon is everyone should be free to love. Free to love whomever you want. Okay, let's respect that. We can respect that. You're free to love whomever. But wag mong pilitin ng simbahan na bigyan ng basbas, bigyan ng blessing, bigyan ng sakramento ang iyong pag-iisang puso dahil hindi yan ang description, ang essence ng marriage. So, ngayon, we see a lot of attacks against the church in social media, in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, because of this new announcement ng simbahan tungkol sa pagbabawal ng simbahan sa mga pare sa pagbabasbas ng pag-iisang puso ng parehong lalaki o ng parehong babae, same-sex union. Okay, so with all this, kahapon nakita natin ang crisis, we have to be more vigilant, more intentional, and even, I would say, more systematic. Kaya ito ang ating sessions these days. Let's be more intentional. Maghanap tayo ng mga strategies na pwede nating magamit para ang ating mga kabataan lalaki as men and women of character in spite of the environment they find themselves in. And, ibig sabihin nun, we have to go against the grain. We have to go counter-cultural. Hindi porke ang fad is love wins. Hindi porke ang fad is freedom for the woman's right to her body. Hindi porke kahit sabihin nating 70% na ng mga tao sa mundo are for divorce, for abortion, for that is not reason for us to give up our morals, our values, our virtues, our standards. We have to go against the grain. That's the big idea. So, yung mga strategies na natuturo ko sa inyo for today and tomorrow pa, many of them, iisipin mo, dagdag trabaho yan. That's added work. That's added time on our preparation. I agree. Pero with this kind of war that is going on, well, these are the most logical thing that good educators would want to do. Kahapon well, ang title natin kasi ngayon is yung digital generation, ano? Sabi ko nga sa inyo kahapon, ang mga kabataan ngayon, they don't know a world without cellphone, without computer. Tapos hindi lang yan. Karamihan ng mga bata ngayon, mahirap, mayaman, makakakita ka. Bata pa lang may cellphone na. Alam mo, pag nakakita ako ng ganitong bata na may cellphone na, medyo sumasama ang loob ko kasi naaalala ko, pinaghirapan ko, nag-ipon ako from salary. Minsan hindi pa ako nagmerienda at naglunch para makabili ng una kong Nokia 3210. 18,000 pesos back in late 1990s. Sobrang mahal. Here is a kid today, walang sweldo, hindi nagsakripisyo, hindi yan nag-skip ng merienda o lunch para makabili ng cellphone. Binigay yan ng nanay niya, binigay yan ng tatay niya, binigay ng lola niya. Kung ayaw mo magbigay sa akin, pupunta ako kay lola. Ganyan ang mga bata. So, ito ang explanation ngayon kung bakit nagrereklamo tayo many times tungkol sa sense of entitlement ng maraming kabataan. Sense of entitlement. 'Di ba? Meron kayong iba sa inyo mga nanay, mga tatay, meron kayong anak na pupunta sa inyo, "Daddy, kailangan ko ng cellphone. Ako na lang ang wala sa klase." Ayan, 'di ba? Ganyan ang salita no? Ganyan ang kanilang linya. Ako na lang ang wala sa klase. Para bang I have to have. Lahat sila meron na eh. Unfair. Ayan. O kaya sasabihin sa'yo, Daddy, kailangan natin ng high-speed internet, fiber. I need it for my project, my homework, my assignment, my online class. Ikaw naman sasabihin mo, tumahimik ka, iyo, grade 1 ka pa lang. Project, homework, assignment ka dyan. Fiber ka dyan. Pero that's how they think now. They deserve it. They have to have it. It's a must. It's almost like internet is a human right. Wi-Fi is a human right. Ayan. I mean, I'm sure nabasa ninyo ang mga ganyang pananalita ng maraming kabataan. And part of it is ito, nakukuha ng maraming bata ngayon, ng maraming kabataan, ang gastos, ang mga bagay, gadgets, luxury items even, na hindi natin nakuha nung bata tayo. Pero sa kanila, napakadali na because of the environment they live in. Pero don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-technology. I am not anti-internet. I'm not anti-gadget. Kung wala nito, hindi tayo makakapag-webinar ngayon. Pero the truth is, itong tablet na to, hindi yan mawawala. Nandito na yan. It's here to stay. Technology manufacturers will just come up with cheaper, brighter, more colorful, more powerful, lighter, thinner, pero it's here to stay. Hindi yan mawawala. Ang trabaho natin, therefore, as teachers, as adults, as parents, is siguraduhin itong batang ito lalaking in control of technology and not the other way around. That technology is the one controlling him. Nakikita ko yan minsan sa mga university students ko na hindi mapakali hanggat hindi nila nakukuha ang latest iPhone 12. Tapos iisipin mo, bakit? Maganda naman yung iPhone 10 mo ah. Sasabihin nila, sir, 2 years ago pa to. 2 years old na to. Ano ngayon? But ganun ang ating environment ngayon. Minamanipulate ang mga bata. Upgrade. Get the latest. Don't be satisfied with what is lower brand or yan. Ganyan ang environment na kinakalakihan ng mga kabataan. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kahapon, 1/3, sabi ng research sa US, 1/3 ng mga kabataan gumagamit na ng gadget even while still in diapers. And before we know it, baka hindi pa nga pinapanganak, nag-umpisa na yung kanilang technocentricity, technocentric lifestyle. Their life revolves around the gadget, technology, Wi-Fi. May alam akong mga ibang kabataan, ang kanilang kasiyahan, kaligayahan is only um, equivalent to how strong the Wi-Fi connection is. Ayan. Pag malakas ang connection ng, uy, ang saya-saya nila. Good mood, good vibe, positive vibe. Pero pagka walang internet, uy, depressed, malungkot, galit, inis, cursing, smart and globe. Ito yung technocentric lifestyle, and as you're going to see, very badly affected are the development of grit, resilience, and empathy. Empathy, pinag-usapan na natin kahapon, connected to the digital lifestyle of screen time spent uh, of the day. The majority part of the day, nandun sila nakatingin sa screen ng TV, sa screen ng cellphone, sa screen ng tablet. And then we talked about the self-centeredness, culture of selfishness, the selfie generation. No? Um, the technology manipulating them to want fame, attention, comments, likes, and shares, and followers, and these are all contributing to the crisis in grit, resilience, and empathy. Kaya ito ang pag-uusapan natin today. Sabi ng researcher, never have we ever encountered this kind of pageantry of vanity where tanggap ng mga tao kung meron kang pinost na 100 pictures ng mukha mo from any angle. Tanggap ng tao yun. The young people don't find anything wrong with it. Some of us may feel uneasy and even think, what is wrong with this person? There's nothing wrong with a person from the point of view of the young generation. That is just how they express themselves. Whether filter or no filter. That is just how things go. Okay? Um, some of us, hindi natin maintindihan. May mga ganyan, pupunta sa FB, they will go FB live, waiting for big number of viewers, waiting for yung mga comments ng mga, ate, kuya, pa-shout out naman. Ayan. Sa TikTok, pa-notice naman. With a video ha. Ayan. Birthday ko na next week, pag-greet naman. I mean, why? And in fact, hindi kayo magkakilala. That guy is a stranger. Lodi, idol ang tawag mo sa kanya. Hindi mo pa nga alam ang kanyang buhay sa bahay. Hindi mo alam kung gaano siya kasama. So, pinag-usapan natin ito kahapon, that yung almost like obsession with getting followers and likes. Okay, some are making use of it as their means of earning a livelihood. Facebook monetized videos. Ayan. They claim to be vloggers. So that they become influencers. Ayan. And they celebrate, I told you, celebrate 10,000 followers, road to 1 million likes in TikTok. Some of us, hindi natin maintindihan itong crowdsourcing. Yung mga magpo-post, hey guys, I'm in Tagaytay. Any recommendations saan kami pwede ditong kumain? Ayan. An old guy like me want to put there, anong pakialam ko sa anong gusto mong kainin? Kumain ka dyan ng bulalo kung gusto mo. Kailangan mo pa bang bulabugin ng buong bayan para lang humingi ng advice kung saan kakakain? Ano ka? But that is how it is. And I think they do it kasi it's there. It's available for them. Some of us older people, kung meron ng Facebook, we would have also announced, ay, kulang ako ng atsuete para sa aking kare-kare. Meron dyan, pwedeng makahingi muna ng malunggay para sa aking ginataang monggo. Ayan. Crowdsourcing. You have the whole world at your call and beckon. You want advice? You want a recommendation? Crowdsourcing. Kasi it's available for them. I'm explaining to you now bakit nagkakaganito ang mindset nito mga kabataan. Ibang klase ng henerasyong mga kabataan. We need to understand the digital generation. This is where they're coming from. Ito ang kanilang mundo. IMO, in my opinion, do you really need to post kung ano ang opinion mo tungkol sa Avengers at saka sa Wonder Woman 1984 na hindi mo gusto? I mean, you are not even movie critic expert. Pero parang bawat pelikulang napanood mo, kailangan ipaalam mo sa mundo ang damdamin mo tungkol sa pelikulang yan. In my opinion, they think, they feel they have the right to let the world know their mind, their opinion, their concerns, and then their feelings, feeling blessed, feeling happy, feeling angry. I mean, older people like me will now look and say, so what if you're feeling sad? Kailangan naming malaman talaga. Do we really need to know? So, the young people have that craving for constant connection. Kaya alam nyo, sa mga classrooms, uh, sa mga classrooms na bawal ang cellphone, uy, tingnan mo ang mga bata, expert, kayang mag-text ng hindi nakatingin sa cellphone. They may be looking at the blackboard, at the teacher, pero sumasagot sila, nagpo-post sila ng kung ano man sa social media. And pagka nasa loob sila ng classroom, bawal ang cellphone. So, they cannot wait to get out of the classroom. Because as soon as nakaalis sila ng classroom, they want to know, may nag-like ba ng pinost nila kagabi? May sumagot na ba dun sa kanyang crowdsourcing post? Ilan na kaya ang nag-heart at nag-share at nag-comment dun sa kanilang um, pajama challenge sa TikTok o kaya yung it's absurd, no? The craving for constant connection. Sa US, problematic ang texting and driving. 11 teenagers every day die because of texting while driving or driving and texting. Young people today don't live for the moment. They live for the foment. Di ba? Pag nanood ng concert, pag nanonood ng concert, anong ginagawa niya? Bakit niyo binibidyohan? Papanoorin mo yan talaga mamaya? Ay hindi. They get a bigger kick when they post it and let the world know na nandun sila sa concert ni Ed Sheeran. Nandun sila sa concert ni Taylor Swift. Na nandun sila, ang lapit-lapit. And they get a bigger kick out of seeing comments like, wow, ang lapit mo sa stage. Tinamaan ka na ng laway ni Lady Gaga. Wow, inggit match. Wow, sana all. This is now that's their mindset. Certain moments are not moments to enjoy. I mean, nung ako bata, nanonood ako ng concert ni Angela Bofill dyan sa Ananeta Coliseum. Ayan. O kaya Tears for Fears. And we enjoyed the moment. We sang along, we danced along, we jumped up and down. We watched it and we were enjoying the moment. The young people will enjoy it more when they post it in social media and announce to the world, nandun sila sa concert. So, foment is how they call it. Okay, well, all these are putting in stage or setting the stage for, kaya kailangan talaga natin silang tulungan. Tulungan natin na makuha nila ang grit, ang resilience, ang empathy. Lalong-lalo na ito, ang quotation na to. Marami sa ating mga estudyante ngayon pumapasok sa classroom natin and they come from dysfunctional families. Dysfunctional kasi may kulang. Wala ang tatay, wala ang nanay. Iniwan ng nanay, iniwan ng tatay. Nasa abroad ang nanay. May naging estudyante ako, ang nagpapalaki sa kanya, yung kapitbahay. Parehong nanay at tatay chose to work abroad para makapagpadala ng kung ano man ang gusto ng anak. It's just different. This is at the root of many problems na nakikita natin ngayon sa loob ng classroom, sa eskwelahan. When these students come to our classroom, hindi nila natutunan sa kanilang magulang certain things na dapat tinuro sa kanila ng nanay, ng tatay. We are not looking down on OFWs, okay? Please don't get me wrong. My two sisters have been in the US for 16 years. American citizens na sila. Both are caregivers, taking care of dying old rich Americans for the last 16 years and working hard for our family. I know halos lahat ng OFWs are like that. Malaking sakripisyo sa kanila ang pag-alis ng bansa para sa kinabutihan, para sa kabutihan ng kanilang pamilya. Ginagawa nila yon sa kanilang pagmamahal, sa kanilang asawa, sa kanilang anak. Pero alam natin, it's just different when the parents are not there. So, gusto natin pa rin magtagumpay sa ating pagnanasang maging men and women of character itong mga estudyante na tinuturuan natin. Kaya kailangan natin ng sistema, kailangan natin ng strategies, kailangan natin pag-aralan anong pwede nating gawin ngayon. So, Michelle Borba, with one L by the way, the first step in teaching moral intelligence is by being moral example. Lahat ng grit, resilience, empathy, paano natin tuturo ito sa mga kabataan? Same strategy, by our example. Let's show the young people how we are capable of controlling our passion, that we don't give in to our temper, that we know how to control ourselves. Hindi tayo maninigaw, mananakit, kahit na ang isip natin, pasaway itong batang to. Matigas ang ulo nitong isang to. Walang disiplina itong batang ito. All of us have said that one way or another to one student or another. We have seen amazing students, amazing ones. I'll tell you a story bago ko magbigay ng set of strategies. Yung iba, continuation ng kahapon dapat on character. Meron akong estudyante sa Southridge na alam nyo yung pag pinagsabihan mo yung bata, John, sit down. Aba, imbis na uupo, titingin sa'yo ng masama, tapos bubulong-bulong pa na, dami-dami ditong nakatayo, ako lang papaupuin. Lagi akong pinag-iinitan. May ganyang estudyante, ano? Yung parang pasaway, matigas ang ulo, mahirap pagsabihan. And then, pero napansin ko, itong estudyante na to, diba? Nakikinig yung classmates niya sa kanya. Halimbawa, pag sinabi ko sa class, please bring newspapers tomorrow for the newspaper drive. Okay? Yan. Walang magdadala. Pero pag ito, si Jay, tumayo sa harap ng klase at sabihin, class, bukas classmates, newspapers bukas bugbugin ko kayo pag wala kayong dala. Aba, lahat nagdadala. Everyone, nananalo kami sa mga newspaper drive. Thanks to this Jay. So, napansin ko, pinapakinggan siya ng kanyang mga classmates. Kaya isang araw, tinawag ko siya, JJ, come here. Alam mo, may leadership ka eh. Ganitong gawin natin. Magtatayo ako ng campus organization dito sa Southridge. Tatawagin nating OSE, Organization for Student Empowerment. Ikaw ang gagawin kong presidente. Tapos ganitong gawin natin. Pili ka ng 5 of your best friends sa klase na magiging co-officers mo. Okay? Tapos ang gawin natin, di ba may bahay kayo sa Tagaytay? Sabi mo sa tatay mo, pahiram naman ang bahay niyo sa Tagaytay. Let's have an overnight leadership seminar. Bibigyan ko kayo ng organizational skills, talk on leadership, project management, ayan. Tapos sabihin mo sa tatay mo, pahiram na rin ng van nyo ha. Uh, Tapos sabihin mo sa tatay mo, siya na rin magbigay ng pagkain. Overnight tayo doon. Okay? So we did. And then, that organization went on to become a very active, powerful, influential organization. Nag-organize ng medical mission for the janitors and security guards. Nag-organize ng Christmas party para sa mga children of Sitio Santo Niño right behind South Ridge. Nag-organize ng, it's amazing. And I'm glad I did not give up on Jay, because the J I'm talking about served as three-term governor of Quezon Province, Governor J. Suarez, and now he is congressman of Quezon. Ang ibig ko lang sabihin, ganito, believe me, dyan sa classroom mo, among your students, meron dyan, someday, will be very powerful, influential, and very rich. We have students who are someday going to be very influential. And it is crucial na right now, binibigyan natin siya ng tamang formation, because someday he or she will be responsible for the lives of hundreds of other people. Not necessarily politicians, but someday they're going to be important people from whose decisions, yung kanilang decisions, will impact the lives of many other people. So, ano ang gagawin mo? Ano ang gagawin mo pag halimbawa sinabi sa'yo, uy, alam mo ba, meron ka dyan sa klase mong estudyante will one day be the President of the Philippines. What will you do? Pag sinabi sa'yo, in your classroom, in your section, one of them will be the future President of the Philippines. I know what you're going to do. Every opportunity you have, you will talk about concern for the poor, love for the poor, uprightness, morals, character, values, virtues. In other words, magtuturo ka for character. You will teach for character. And this is what the sessions yesterday and today and tomorrow have been all about. Kahapon, hindi ko nabanggit yung some other strategies for character formation inside the classroom. So let me just give them to you now. Some additional concrete strategies. Good Deeds Bowl. It's an inside the classroom setup, but actually pwede din itong gawin sa sa online. Ganito 'yon. Sabi ko sa inyo kahapon, may reklamo ang ibang bata, "Sir, wala namang nakita si sir sa amin kundi mali. Wala na siyang napansin sa amin kundi mali. Lagi niya lang kaming pinapansin pag kaming nagkakamali. Pero pag may ginawa kaming mabuti, hindi niya pinapansin." Okay, then this is the strategy. Good Deeds Bowl. Okay, class, every time I catch someone doing a good deed, I will put in this bowl. You see, it can be in the classroom, it can be even online classes. If I see or learn about someone doing a good deed, I have a bowl here. I will put every good deed I catch or I hear about or I learn about. I will put this one marble or one pebble or one small, yung alam mo yung binolang papel, paper that you put into a small ball like that. I will put one marble inside the bowl. Okay? John, I saw you lending a ball pen sa kaklase mo. Very good. That's kindness. You have made the class win a marble in the Good Deeds Bowl. Joanna, nakita ko, naglilinis ka dyan sa area nyo. Kahit hindi ko sinabi, that's a good thing to do. You have made the class win a marble for the Good Deeds Bowl. Joel, I heard tinuruan mo si Juan para sa exam, kaya pala nakapasa si Juan. Good job. That deserves 2 marbles in the Good Deeds Bowl. You see, every time you catch someone doing a good deed, a marble or a pebble, kung wala kang pambili ng marbles, or kung wala kang time para maghanap ng mga pebbles in the streets, yung maliit na papel na ibobola mo and you put it inside. And the challenge to the class is, pag napuno natin itong good deeds bowl, the class deserves a reward. Whether it is 15-minute free time na you can read whatever you want, or a quiz bee, we will have a quiz bee. The questions will come from the lessons, or we will have a treasure hunt into two groups, or we will have a movie related to the lesson. The class will work to get a reward. And I love a class where students will now try to outdo each other in doing good deeds, in doing good acts, whether it's an act of kindness, of helping, of supporting. We can even put in, okay, class, uh, if all the rows are aligned when I enter the classroom tomorrow, that will deserve 3 marbles in the good deeds bowl. If I never have to stop to call on two people talking or two people not listening, if I don't have to stop to correct anyone in the next 1 hour, that deserves a 5 marble reward in the good deeds bowl. So you see, kahit hindi ka nagsasalita, you can be disciplining, getting the students to do what you want them to do. That's a fantastic strategy. I've used it from grade 4 even all the way to college, to high school. It works. It works, especially kung gusto nila yung reward that is being offered to them. Yan yung principle mamayang hapon. Students will be more willing to follow your rules if they're working to get a reward than to avoid a punishment. Your students will be more willing to work to get a reward than to avoid a punishment. So, this merit or reward system works, pero mamaya, yung prinsipyo na ibibigay ko about Kohlberg's levels of moral development, this is just second level. We have to learn how to go to the sixth highest level of moral development. But I will explain that more later on. In other words, importante ang advisory. Yan ang pag-uusapan nating bukas. Kasi through that, we are able to create a certain class culture, class mindset, class identity na iniisip nila, uy, I belong to this class. I have to behave. I belong to this class. Hindi ako pwedeng magkaroon ng detention, suspension, or punishment. I belong to this class. That's what we will be able to produce. A certain mindset for the whole class. Let's go to grit. Grit. And the number one expert in grit, as you know, now in the world is Angela Duckworth, right? Last week, there was the National Forum on Character Formation. For the first time in 28 years, it was online. It was done online. And Angela Duckworth was one of the keynote speakers. Naging expert siya dito on the basis of her book on grit. So, it's passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Yun ang kanyang description ng grit. It's different from perseverance by itself. It's also different from hard work, pero lahat sila may kinalaman sa grit, no? Yung grit na hindi ka mag-give up easily. Hindi mo iisipin ang suicide. Kahit anong hirap na ng pinagdadaanan mo. Hindi mo iisipin na hindi mo kaya. Kahit na sobrang pahirap na ang pinagdadaanan mo, kahit sobrang hirap na ng iyong ginagawa. Ito ang 5 characteristics ng grit from which makikita natin, okay, so kailangan pala natin strengthen this 5 and you make the person what we call a gritty person. Kahit anong pahirap ang kanyang pagdaanan sa buhay, kakayanin niya. Unang-una, of course, courage is there, which is not the absence of fear, but being able to overcome it. Na kahit na nakakatakot, maraming risk, maraming hindi natin alam kung paano ang kalalabasan, kung ano pa ang challenges na makikita natin in the future, gagawin natin. That's courage, that's strength of character, that is what will enable a person to succeed in spite of the difficulties and the challenges. Conscientiousness, being thorough, careful, or vigilant. Minsan, nowadays, ang tawag ng mga ibang tao dito is mindfulness. Mindfulness. Being mindful of the people around them, the challenges that they have to face, mindful of the future, mindful of what has happened in the past, being present at the moment, and we are able to make good decisions because of our mindfulness, conscientiousness. Perseverance, of course, nabanggit na yan natin kanina. And this is a challenge because this runs counter to yung pinag-usapan natin kahapon, the age of instant gratification. Na pag hindi nila nakuha yung instant gratification, they give it up. They get bored. They get bored. Don't you notice? Parang lagi nating nadidinig ngayon itong bored. I'm bored. It's boring. That's boring. The subject is boring. The teacher is bored. They complain about boring. Kasi ganun na ang mindset. Ano? This is what you call the multimedia generation. Yan. Where kailangan lahat may change of costume. Yung MTV generation. MTV mindset. Pag nanood ka ng MTV, try to put off the volume, just watch the scenes. Usually, walang more than 3 seconds scene. Kailangan palit-palit. Yung editing, ang daming shots. Tapos, kung hindi nag-iiba yung costume, nag-iiba yung may backup dancers, yung lights and the multimedia. And here comes a teacher now inside the classroom. Walang change costume, walang backup dancers, walang spotlight, walang change of scenes. Sasabihin niya, class, face forward. Look at my Manila paper. Stop talking. Listen here. We have a challenge now because, teka muna, itong mga kabataan na to, sanay dun sa not more than 3 seconds. So, we have the problem of focus, attention, persevering in being able to listen, in being able to pay attention, despite the difficulties, despite kahit anumang mindset or attitude, preferences ang binigay sa kanila ng mundo ngayon. Resilience, and we are going to talk about that separately later on. The capacity to bounce back, that's the art of resilience. And it too is part of grit and passion. Gagawin nila kahit mahirap, kahit maraming challenges, kahit hindi madali, because they're passionate about it. And we have to capitalize on this kasi ang mga kabataan, normally, they're driven by passion, ambition. You know, we talk badly about vloggers and influencers who seem to be so obsessed with the number of likes and followers. But let's give it to them. That's passion. To produce that 15-second video that they spent 1 hour for preparing, practicing, rehearsing. What is that? Passion. They think there's a certain deep sense of purpose in what they're doing. Okay. You know, it's 10:39. I've been talking for 1 hour. As a way of giving ourselves a bit of break. Those who need to go to the washroom can take advantage. Meanwhile, I want to show these two videos just as a way for us to have a break. And then when we come back, we'll continue with grit, resilience, and passion.
Aspettandomi. Quando sono arrivate, quando sono i giovani, hanno fatto chiasso, vai, vai. Io mi sono avvicinato per salutarli e pochi davano una mano. La maggioranza erano col telefonino su. Foto, foto, foto. Selfie. Io insomma, la loro realtà è quella. Quello è il mondo reale, non il contatto umano. Questo è grave. Sono giovani virtualizzati. No? Il mondo delle comunicazioni virtuali è una cosa buona, ma quando diventa alienante ti fa dimenticare di dare la mano. Salutano col telefonino, ma quasi tutti erano felici di vedermi, dirmi le cose. E la loro autenticità la esprimevano così. Ti salutavano così. Dobbiamo fare atterrare i giovani al mondo reale, toccare la realtà, senza distruggere le cose buone che può avere il mondo virtuale, perché servono, no? È interessante questo, no? La realtà, la concretezza. Per questo torno su una cosa che ho detto prima, un'altra domanda. Le opere di misericordia ai giovani aiutano tanto. Fare qualcosa per gli altri, perché questo li concretizza, li fa atterrare, no? E entrano in un rapporto sociale. No?
Ako po si Jermaine Marie Catag. I'm 30 years old. I have 3 siblings. I'm the eldest. Next is Lynn Grace, 25 years old.
Ilay, paunahan ta.
Jerson, 20 years old.
Thank you talaga.
Anna Marie, 15 years old.
Please stop it. Tama na bata-bata.
My dad passed away 7 years ago. So, breadwinner, sumalo ng posisyon ng tatay ko. But it's okay. I started working. Unang-unang ginawa ko networking. Tapos, on the side, yung events, nag-hosting. Lahat mo ginagawa para lang kumita. Actually, alam nilang lahat. Pagod na rin ako minsan. Hindi ko mag-ibig. I'm just so blessed na sa itsura ko, pag lumabas ako ng kondo ko, I'm a different person. I'm a happy person. Pero wala akong problema. Pero I'm 30 and I'm so tired. Kasi gusto ko rin magkaroon ng sarili kong pamilya. I really want to have a baby of my own. Well, minsan you yearn for it. And sometimes gusto ko rin yung ma-feel na
Yung makapagpahinga ako, when I can sleep na wala akong isipin for tomorrow. Kasi sarili ko lang iniisip ko. Alam mo yung ganun, gusto ko rin maranasan yun na hindi ako ma-stress.
Gusto ko po siya, i-hug, tapos i-kiss pa sa cheeks. Kasi hindi ko po siya na-hug. Tapos gusto ko talaga mag-thank you sa kanya, mag-I love you, ganyan. Kasi hindi po ko nakakapag-I love you sa personal, ganyan po.
Actually po, parang yung I regret my life right now kasi hindi ako nakakatulong sa kanila. Kahit na ako yung nakagraduate, gano'n. Wala akong may natutulong. Kasi may anak na po ako.
Mimi.
Salamat dahil hindi mo kami pinababayahan kahit na alam mo naman na kaya ko sana pero hindi kinaya.
We are blessed po to have a sister like her.
Thank you gid sa tanan. Kay tungod sa imo. Tungod sa imo nakapag-eskwela kami. Kag may balay kita subong. Kung wala ka, base sa kalsada na kami guys, Thank you gid at I love kay. Wala mo kami ginamayaan.
Hindi ako magsisisi every single day of my life to spend something for my family as long as happy sila. Kasi yun yung pinagsisihan ko nung buhay yung dad ko. Hindi ko nagawa yun.
Okay. I hope that's a good enough break for all of us. Let's continue. So we're talking about grit, and here, according to this author, are 7 suggestions on how to develop grit among the kids today. Number 1, kasi kanina pinag-usapan natin, characteristic of grit is may passion. Yung talagang they put their heart into what they want to do. And it's amazing itong TikTok, the way they the way they devote a lot of time, effort, even money for some people, yung mga nagko-cosplay, and then learning the steps, and that's passion. Okay? So, if we are able to ignite itong pag pagnanasang makagawa ng napakaraming kabutihan dito sa mundo, kailangan paulit-ulit nating binibigay itong paalaala sa mga kabataan. If there is one ambition, if there is one desire you have, it has to be this, na makagawa ng napakaraming kabutihan sa napakaraming tao. And dapat lumalabas sa ating bibig ito habang binibigyan natin sila ng edukasyon, habang hinahanda natin sila para sa kanilang professional life, na dapat yun ang kanilang ambition, to be able to do as much good to as many people. And then, kahapon, pinag-usapan natin yung delayed gratification. Well, at the root of the delayed gratification is self-control. Self-control, na hindi sila magrereklamo, na hindi sila bibitiw, give up simply because hindi na naging madali ang kanilang kailangan gawin. Self-control, which includes self-control in holding their passions and emotions. Okay, while we talk about passion earlier, teka muna, anything too much is also wrong. So, kailangan matutunan nito mga kabataan ang ibig sabihin ng no when it's time to say no. Warn them to expect setbacks. As sure as the sun will rise, magkakaroon ng problema, magkakaroon ng paghihirap, magkakaroon ng challenges. Challenges are very much a part of life. We are never promised a rose garden. And ang problema dito, ang ina-idolize kasi ng mga kabataan ngayon, yung mga bilyonaryo na ang isip nila is naging bilyonaryo just like that. Of course not. They encountered difficulties. They encountered problems. Pero makikita nila ngayon, uy, itong vlogger na to, kumikita ng milyon, nakapagpatayo ng bahay, nakabili ng kotse just by creating content sa YouTube. Yan, ang akala nila that's quick money making scheme. Ay hindi. Hindi. It doesn't work that way. Kahit sila, may pinagdaan ng mga paghihirap, challenges, minsan hindi pumasa, minsan hindi maganda yung kanilang nagawang video, minsan walang walang income kasi sa YouTube, pagka finorward mo, in-skip mo yung ad, deduction yun dun sa monetization, dun sa kikitain nitong vlogger na to. So, maraming challenges yun. And young people have to know that as sure as the sun will rise, magkakaroon ng challenges, difficulties, paghihirap. So, sa lahat ng eskwelahan na tinuruan ko nitong 34 years, I always made it a point to be involved in student leadership, project management, clubs and organizations, because one of the best skills that we should be able to teach itong mga kabataan na nasa loob ng classroom natin is project management, planning, thinking ahead. That's why it's good. This is a good exercise to help them grow in grit. Favorite ko tong project management kasi when you draw up a plan, a project management, project proposal, for example, part of the project proposal is iisipin mo ahead of time ano ang possible difficulties, problems, disapprovals na makikita natin. Administration might disapprove. Okay, what can we put into the proposal para i-approve ng management? We have to make sure hindi siya magiging deficitary. We have to make sure hindi ma-disrupt ang napakaraming classes. We have to make sure it is really profitable and at the same time being able to do a lot of good. So itong project management is a perfect way para ituro sa mga kabataan itong foresight, mindfulness, planning, looking ahead for possible problems, tapos putting in place kung ano man ang pwede nating magawa para maiwasan yung mga problemang yon. That's fantastic preparation for professional life. And then, grit ang pinag-uusapan natin. So, along the way, there will be difficulties, pero effort counts. And we complement it. We acknowledge na, di bale, kahit na ganito lang ang result, pero nakita ko yung nilagay mong effort, yung ginawa mong paghihirap para matapos yung project, that's still a learning experience. And it's still more useful than success in the end for this project. And then in the end, along the way, we have to keep on going back to what is really essential. Kaya kahapon, yun yung strategy ni Rafe Esquith. Make them read The Little Prince so that they learn itong lesson na to, no? What is essential is invisible to the eyes. It's not about the trophy. It's not about the first place. It's not about the championship. It's the journey going there through which we learn a lot of life lessons. So don't resort to lying, cheating, stealing. Don't resort to breaking rules, shortcuts. Tell them to stick to what's really important. Show how to take care of body and mind. Grit. That you, and by the way, si Rafe Esquith is very strong on reminding the young people about the importance of sleep. Sleep. Kasi sabi ng research, itong generation of young people today, they belong to what they call the sleep-deprived generation. The sleep-deprived generation. And it's true. Kasi nga naman, itong mga kabataan ngayon, magigising ng 2 a.m. Nandyan ang more than 1 billion videos to choose from in YouTube. Nandyan ang hundreds of movies, television series in Netflix. Nandyan ang hundreds and thousands of songs available in Spotify. Very different from my time na at 10 o'clock nagsa-sign off ang tatatlong television stations. Tatatlo nga lang eh, tapos nagsa-sign off pa. Kaya tulog na kami. But not the kids today. Kaya we have to teach them how to take care of themselves spiritually, physically, mind and body. Resilience. Let's go to resilience. Described. Okay, well, we had a video just now. Resilience described as the power to be able to recover readily from adversity or challenge. So grit is facing challenges head on. Resilience is never giving up, and even being ready kahit anumang paghirap yan, kahit anong pagsubok yan na ating kailangang harapin. Or kahit na bumagsak tayo, let's stand up and begin again. We failed in that project, never mind. That's not the end of the road. We have lost the battle, but not the war. Let's move on. Let's bounce back. Let's stand up and begin again. So, the art of bouncing back, yun yung kaninang sinabi ko sa inyo as the description for resilience. Or, like what is happening in the world today. Ngayon, this is not, sabi nga natin kahapon, hindi ito normal. In fact, I hope people stop calling it the new normal. No, this is not the new normal. We have to go back to the real normal. For now, okay. But resilience means we continue developing even under troubled conditions, difficult conditions like where we are right now while this pandemic is going on. It's defined both as an outcome, but also as a process. Resilience. I am very strong emotionally, even if I failed, I encountered difficulties. So that's the outcome. But as I'm going through this process, I'm resilient. I have to be ready. I have to forge ahead kahit na mahirap. Okay? Let me skip to strategies right away, okay? Because that is what we want for this. Sabi nitong study, for a person to grow up to be resilient, three factors are important. One, secure attachment relationships. And in principle, ito dapat ay ang magulang. Pero sabi nga natin kanina, may problema in many houses. Absent ang parent, absent ang isa. And normally, pag absent ang isa, it's very tough for a single parent to be able to do it. I've seen heroic single parents and they succeed in being able to do it. Pero ang hirap, it's just not usual, normal. Kaya minsan, meron tayong estudyante, pumapasok ng classroom, hinahanap itong number 1 na to. They are not in search of your math, your science, your technical subject. Hinahanap nila is this secure attachment relationship, a mentor, a teacher, a guide. And that is proven by experience. Among those of you like me who have been in the teaching profession for 30 plus years, nakita natin to. We've had students like this na ang tingin nila sa atin is more than just a teacher. Ang tingin nila sa atin is someone who inspired them at the time when they needed it most. Someone who gave them the advice that they didn't hear at home. And that is what kept them going. We've seen it. We've experienced this. Number two, access to wider support such as extended family and friends. And number three, ito na yung sa atin especially, positive nursery, school, and community experience. So, whether it's in the house or in the school, we play very important role in developing resilience among the young people, in helping them cope with life's challenges. So let's build resilience because life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient. That's how it works. It can be built. It can be um, developed, lalong-lalo na't kailangan nito ngayon because of the crisis na nakita natin kahapon and earlier on this morning. Itong mga problema na to. You see, resilience is what will um, put a stop to this rise in suicide cases, depression. It's resilience that they need so that they don't fall into the trap nitong instant gratification, sense of entitlement, privilege mindset, narcissism. So here are 5 ways to build resilience inside the classroom, sabi nitong researcher. Number 1, reflection. Kahapon pinag-usapan natin extensively. Promote self-reflection through essays that you make them read or yung mga small group discussions. Get a partner and then discuss this to which they will be able to do itong self-reflection. Or group work, 5 of you will discuss ito. Answer these questions as a group. And then later, isa sa inyo magre-report, isa sa inyo gagawa ng PowerPoint, isa sa inyo susulat ng final report, isa will answer all the questions, and yung isa will do a analysis of how the group worked as a team. The writer recommends this fantastic website, heroicimagination.org. Maraming mga exercises na pwedeng magamit ng teachers para mabigyan ng self-reflection activities ang mga estudyante nila. So, questions like this, no? Halimbawa, sino ang hero doon sa ating binasang kwento? Bakit? And then they reflect. And through those literary characters, lalabas ang ibig sabihin nitong resilience, itong grit, itong being able to face difficulties. Ano ang challenges or dilemma na kailangang harapin ng ating hero dito sa kwentong ito? Ano ang kanyang ginawa para malampasan niya yung pagsubok? Ano ang mga personal strengths na kanyang pinakita? Choices na kanyang ginawa kung saan lumabas ang kanyang pagiging resilient. And how did other people support the hero? Na this reflection now will make them realize, ay ganito rin pala ang kailangan kong gawin sa buhay. Pag may nakikita ako sa aking kapaligiran, pamilya, kapatid, nanay, tatay, kaklase, na may pinagdadaanan, ganito pala ang tamang paraan para matulungan sila. As I learned from this literary reading na pinabasa sa amin ng teacher. And how do we use the same personal strengths when we overcome obstacles in our own lives? Can you share some examples? So itong mga questions na to ang magpapalabas nitong lessons on self-reflection. Number 2, encourage reflection through personal essays. Yung number 1 is using literature, using characters in yung pinabasa mo, using stories of mathematicians, scientists, kwento ng iba. Ito ngayong number 2, your own personal essays. Like questions like this, sumulat ka tungkol sa isang tao na nagbigay sa iyo ng suporta habang ikay may pinagdadaanan. Stressful or traumatic time. Paano kanila natulungan malagpasan yung pagsubok, yung paghihirap na dinadaanan mo? Itong mga self-reflection will make them learn. Ito yung talagang tinatawag na real life lesson. And not just life lesson, their own personal life Ano ang natutunan mo tungkol sa iyong sarili? Habang pinag-iisipan mo yung mga pinagdaanan mong paghihirap at may mga tumulong sa iyo, ano ang natutunan mo tungkol sa iyong sarili? Write about a friend. Kung hindi sa iyong buhay, how about you? At paano mo siya tinulungan na malagpasan ang kanyang paghihirap? What did you learn about yourself? Nung tumulong ka sa ibang tao, ano ang natutunan mo tungkol sa iyong sarili? Write about a time in your life na meron kang pinagdadaan ng paghihirap, challenges, and ano ang ginawa mo na nakayanan mong lagpasan yung challenge na yon, yung difficulty na yon. What learning did you take away na pwedeng makatulong sa iyo sa hinaharap na siguradong magkakaroon pa rin ng paghihirap or ng challenges, ng difficulties? Number 3, help children and their parents learn from student failures. Okay, this is an important point. Kung kailangan matutunan nito mga kabataan ang resilience, kailangan nilang matutunan kung paano harapin ang failure. Ang pagkakataon sa buhay na hindi nila magagawa ang dapat nilang gawin, ang challenges na kailangan nilang harapin. Merong itong magandang article na it would be good kung mabasa ninyo. The link is in the slides. Ganito ang title niya, Why Parents Need to Let Their Children Fail. Ayan. Kasi ngayon, may mga ganyang magulang, pagka bumagsak ang kanilang anak, ang feeling nila, sila ang bumagsak. So, they get very angry. They get very upset. Wait, teka muna. That failure, even in grade, or in a test, or even in a subject, or even in a school year, may be the best lesson that person needs, badly needs to learn, or to learn from. So, sabi nitong article na to, failures are not bad. They sometimes are the best impetus na hinahantay lang ng batang yan na ma-experience, na maranasan ang yung pagkabagsak na yan, dahil from there, tatayo siya at magsisimulang muli a totally different person with a totally different mindset. Create a classroom culture where failure, setbacks, and disappointment are an expected and honored part of learning. Okay? So, wag niyong gawin yung ginagawa ng ibang eskwelahan na alam ko. Ang dinidisplay ng teacher, yung test papers ng mga bagsak para may shame campaign. Sasabihin ng teacher sa students, so, wag niyong gagayahin to, you better study hard para hindi kayo mapahiya. That doesn't work. Yung mga bata, hindi sila matututo. Maiinis, magagalit, and they will be full of resentment. On the other hand, giving as example those who, okay, that's recognition, part of recognition, pero still, ito, sabi nitong point na to, failure every now and then, that's part of life, and don't feel like it's the end of the road. Establish and reinforce an atmosphere where students are praised for their hard work, perseverance, and grit, hindi lang sa grades or easy successes. Okay? Kaya between first honor student and the most improved student award, mas malaki dapat yung award for most improved. Yung bang last year, bumabagsak siya. Ngayon, nagte-third honor. Pero yung third honor na yon, mas malaki ang kanyang pinaghirapan para maabot yon compared to itong first honor student na to, na last year ay first honor din. Minsan nga sasabihin nila, actually hindi naman talaga nag-aaral yan, sir. Talagang magaling lang mag-memorize. So, easy success versus hard work, grit, perseverance, that deserves more praise. Hold students accountable for producing their own work, efforts from which they feel ownership and internal reward. Mind you, nandiyan na ang kultura ngayon ng cut and paste. No? It has become a part of the culture of the young generation. Cut and paste mentality. Pinagawa mo ng report, pupunta yan sa Wikipedia. Magka-cut and paste. Papalitan ang ibang words. Oops, akin na yan, original ko na yan, pinalitan ko ang 3 salita dyan sa paragraph na yan. That's the kind of mentality. No, we have to hold them accountable for honest work, upright work, without resorting to lying and stealing works of other people. Educate and assure parents that supporting kids through failure builds resilience. And one of the best developmental outcomes that they can give their children is this, that the kid is resilient, knowing how to stand up again after a failure. But the failure itself, that's not the end of the world. Wag mong paluin ang bata, parusahan, sanction, just because hindi niya nakuha yung tamang grade na ina-expect mo. Okay, so those are some things na pwede natin gawin sa loob ng classroom. Bring discussions about human resilience into the classroom. Related ito dun sa strategy na binigay ko kahapon about presenting appropriate role models. Kahit anong subject ang tinuturuan mo, makakahanap ka dyan ng mga appropriate role models. In this case, role models for resilience in whatever subject na tinuturo natin. Whatever subject, political leaders, scientists, literary figures and characters, innovators, inventors, mathematicians, etc. And finally, number 5, build supportive relationships with students. Yun yung sa class advisory talk, we will talk about it. How to create a culture of support among the students. Na the good students will support the weaker ones. Yung mga matatalino, tutulungan nila yung mga kailangan ng support, ng minsan tutorials pa ang kailangan nila. Okay, ibibigay natin yan. Okay, finally, we talk about empathy, which is the biggest crisis we see today.
Lahat tayo naghahanap ng the one. Pero paano kung dalawa sila?
Congratulations.
Ang tagal na nung pinagsamahan namin ni Paul. All these years, he's always been there for me.
Paul!
Uy! Congratulations!
Natanggap ako! Oh, favorite ko. Naku, presentation ko.
Si Jay naman, bago lang sa buhay ko. Pero priority rin niya to make me happy. Thanks for the help and the burger.
Sure, basta ikaw. Anne, do you trust me?
Oo naman.
Surprise!
With Paul, iba ang naging connection namin. Kilalang kilala niya ako.
Oh, got your favorite.
Kay Jay naman, somehow mas nakilala ko ang sarili ko.
I look back and recall
naniniwala ka ba na sa dami ng tao dito sa mundo, may isang destined para sa'yo?
Oo naman. Actually, I'm looking at her.
Ewan ko sa'yo.
Han? Sa dami ng tao sa mundo, naniniwala ka ba na lahat sila may isang destined for them?
Ha? Bakit mo natanong?
Kasi ako dati, hindi. Until I met you. Han, tara!
Ang hirap. Pero I think it's time for me to make a choice.
Hey. You okay?
Jay. First of all, I wanna thank you sa lahat ng ginagawa mo para sa akin.
Alam kong may kaagaw ako sa puso mo. I know he means a lot to you. And I understand kung hindi.
Oo. It means so much to me. But meron ka na rin lugar dito sa puso ko eh. And every day it grows bigger. Handa na ako to let go of the past.
And it will never be the same without you,
And
pain inside.
aneurysm daw. The doctors tried everything pero he's gone. My son is gone.
That was 4 years ago. I think it's time.
You mean you're ready to love again?
Ready to love you.
You gave me all the reasons to live. Once I've learned to love again.
Ready ka na?
Huh? Wait lang. Huwag mo ko iwan.
Never.
Okay, sorry for that very long commercial. It took him 4 years to move on. I don't know if that's still resilience, maybe that's perseverance or grit. Anyway, so we talk about empathy, okay? Empathy. Very important because ito ang napakalaking crisis na nakikita ng maraming researchers tungkol dito sa mga kabataan ngayon, sa henerasyon ng mga kabataan ngayon. Lalong-lalo na, sabi natin kahapon, if the whole day, wala na silang ginawa, kundi nakaharap lang sa screen of the tablet, of the TV, of the computer, hindi na sila nakikisalamuha sa mga ibang tao, naglalaro sa labas, paano nila matututunan itong feeling for other people, dealing with other human beings? Ito ang at the root of bullying. When kids come to school without knowing anymore the decent way of dealing with other people, with other kids, with other children. So, ito ang empathy, identifying with and feeling other people's concerns. Sabi ni Michelle Borba in her book, Building Moral Intelligence, ito ang ibig sabihin ng empathy. Pag ang mga tao able to say, you look upset, that's empathy. I understand how you feel, that's empathy. I'm sad that you got hurt. Yan, they know how people feel. That happened to me too once. It makes me feel sad for you. Ayan, that's empathy. My heart is racing. I feel like I want to. I'm happy for you. I bet it hurts a lot. It happened to me. Ito ang ibig sabihin ng empathy. Pag ang isang tao nakakapagsabi ng mga ganito. Or, this is what people with empathy do. Notice when people are hurting and feel for them. Naluluha sila when they see somebody crying. Ayan. They walk up to console others who are in pain. That's empathy. They comfort another kasi alam nila ang sakit na dinaranas ng isang tao. That's empathy. They feel excited for others when they win. They wins when they see the hero get hurt at the movies. They talk soothingly to those in pain. And they mirror the facial expressions of the distressed person. Ito ang lahat ng mga ginagawa ng person with empathy. Here are 3 steps to build empathy. Number 1, foster awareness and build an emotional vocabulary. Okay, gagawin nating slow motion. There are 3 steps, pero let's first talk about step number 1. Awareness and building emotional vocabulary. If we do this, we're on our way to helping the young people build empathy. Look at this, for example, dictionary. Siyempre, hindi natin makita. Magzo-zoom in tayo ng first part. Building emotional vocabulary. The more words, emotional words, na alam ng tao, mas lalo siyang magiging sensitive in reading emotions of others. Let's take a look at this, for example, just the first half of the upper page. Afraid, agitated, alarmed, angry, anxious, apprehensive. Diba? Kung alam natin ang ibig sabihin ng bawat isang ito, then mababasa natin sila sa ibang tao, we can be more empathetic in some books. The second part of that long page, letter B, letter C, letter E, think about it. Ilan dito ang ating kayang i-describe, kayang makita, kayang ma-observe sa ibang tao? Alam ba natin ang ibig sabihin ng hassled? The person is hateful, helpless, hesitant, hopeful, horrible. And then the lower part, page 1 pa lang to. Meron pang second page and same, 3 parts. Eager, edgy, embarrassed, encouraged, enraged, enthused, exasperated, excited. Then let's go to page 2. Page 1 pa lang yon. So ito ang page 2, upper part. And then the second part, the middle part of that page. Rejected, reluctant, resentful, restless, ridiculous, riled, rushed. And then the last part. You see, sobrang dami ng emotional words, emotional vocabulary. And the more we know of these words, that will build our emotional vocabulary, that will build our empathy. Kasi understanding these words means knowing what to see, observe in other people. At pag nakita natin, itong taong ito, exhausted. Ano ang kailangan niya? Because that's how usually it is. Emotions usually come with a need. Emotion plus need equals. What is our reaction? Excited siya. Ano ang need niya? To share that excitement with others. So, an empathic person will share that excitement. Miserable. Ano ang need doon? Maybe ang need niya is accompaniment, consolation, somebody to understand him or her. That's what an empathic person would put in. So, it's a beautiful thing, to realize na, ay, ganun lang pala yung kasimple. Ganun lang yung pala kasimple. Eh, di turuan natin ang mga kabataan ng as many emotional words. And that's precisely why that's step number 1. Okay, so, step number 2 for Borba, how to build empathy. Step number 2 is, let's enhance the sensitivity to the feelings of others. We're getting closer to a person with empathy will have sensitivity. Kung ma-build natin ito, ma-enhance natin itong sensitivity na to, we are succeeding in making him a person with empathy. So, here are 6 simple ways from Michelle Borba to nurture kids' sensitivity. While she wrote it for parents with kids, think, pwede nating apply ang iba dito sa classroom setting with the teachers doing it for the students. 6 simple ways. You see? Praise-sensitive kind actions. And that was one of the strategies na pinag-usapan natin kahapon on how to build character inside the classroom. Reinforcing moral behavior. Or the Good Deeds Bowl, precisely, is all about that. Number 2, show the effect of sensitivity. Number 3, draw attention to non-verbal feeling cues. Kailangan malaman ng mga tao na emotions do not necessarily appear only through words, through what the people say. Minsan, clenched fist. Dapat alam natin ang ibig sabihin yan. And a person with empathy will know, uy, nagagalit na siya. Uy, naiinis na siya. Uy, napupuno na siya. Stop the teasing. Stop the sarcasm. Stop the... Yan. So, may non-verbal feeling cues. We will talk about how to build non-verbal feeling cues. And then ask often, how do you think does he feel? How do you think the character feels? Oh, that movie that we're watching, yung character na yan, how do you think that person feels? When we ask question like this, that makes them reflect. Ay, oo nga, feelings usually come with needs, and that need would usually have to be the reaction of a person with empathy. Well, that's what we've been talking about. Number 5. And number 6, share why you feel the way you do. 6 things we can do to develop sensitivity of children, and as I said, pwede natin gawin ito sa loob ng classroom of our students. 5 fun ways to help kids read non-verbal emotions. Here's the first one, feeling charades. You know, yung vocabulary na yon na pinakita ko sa inyo, that's a whole list of charades that you can play. You know the game of charades, no? You have to outact the feeling, huhulaan ng audience, ano ang feeling na pinapakita niya. That's fun way to help kids develop the emotional vocabulary and be able to read non-verbal emotions. Make comic mood characters. Yung papacut out nyo sila ng as many of the words there in the list I showed you earlier from comic books. This shows sadness. This shows this face, this character in this comic shows exasperation, etc. Read with feelings. Basahin mo ang Jack and the Beanstalk angrily. Good. Now let's read it happily. Now let's read it frustratingly. How would the frustrated voice read Jack and the Beanstalk? That's reading with feeling. And then, number 4, watch silent TV. Turn off the volume. May pinapanood kang sine. Turn off the volume. And then you make them, ano ngayon ang nararamdaman nitong character na yon? Bakit siya ganyan? Sumisigaw yata yan. Ano? Galit na galit. Ano ang emotion na pinapakita niya? That's being able to read non-verbal emotions. And then finally, number 5, hold a feeling lookout. You know, you stand by the window with the students there. Oh, yung dumadaan na lalaki na yan na naka-green shirt. With that kind of expression, ano sa palagay nyo ang kanyang feeling at the moment? Excited dahil parang natanggap siya sa trabaho? Or parang looking desperate kasi parang wala siyang solusyon sa kanyang problema? You are developing itong ability to read through other people, which is very important to develop empathy. And finally, number 3, step 3, developing empathy for another person's point of view. With this, we reach the last part of how to build empathy. Okay? Develop empathy for another person's point of view. Because in the end, that's what empathy is all about. Their ability to put themselves in the shoes of other people, to see things from the point of view of another person, taking a different perspective. 3 simple ways, according to Michelle Borba, to increase children's ability to take different perspectives. And this can also be applied inside the classroom, in our classroom, with our students. Number 1, switch roles to feel the other side. Halimbawa, you have a debate inside the classroom. You have an argument. And then you tell them, okay, now take the opposite view. Try to defend yung opponent's view na kanina kinakalaban mo or you are arguing against. That's switching roles. Walk in my shoes. Sa high school, meron kaming exercises, minsan ganyan. Okay, class, sa reporting natin on heroes, okay, don't just come to class reporting about Jose Rizal. On that day, come as Jose Rizal and deliver your message, deliver your report. If you yourself were Jose Rizal at ikaw ang nabigyan ng assignment na magbibigay ng report na yan, how will you do it? And then he comes even in a costume play, looking and acting like Jose Rizal. Walk in my shoes. Pagka nakayanan ng isang tao na tingnan ang ilang issues, certain issues, from the perspective of other people, that's developing empathy. And then, finally, imagining how the person feels. Okay, so kahapon, sabi natin, use moral lesson as discipline. Well, here, Michelle Borba gives classroom discipline that builds empathy. Call attention to insensitive, uncaring behavior. Ask, how would you feel? Recognize the consequences of the behavior. And finally, express and explain your disapproval of the insensitive action. So this is part of using discipline as a moral lesson rather than just going around punishing, sanctioning, reprimanding. No, build morals, build empathy, build caring, kindness as a way of developing. So all those things I gave you on empathy can be found in this book of Michelle Borba, Building Moral Intelligence, the 7 essential virtues. Okay, so just to let you know, the 7 moral virtues, essential virtues for Michelle Borba. If you want the students, kung gusto mong lumaki itong batang ito with strong moral intelligence, sabi ni Michelle, here are the seven essential virtues. Yung first 3 are core. Importante yan because from there, susunod na lang yung 4 others. Empathy, conscience, self-control. Tama nga, ano? Kung walang konsyensya ang bata, how will you expect him or her to do the right thing? Kung walang empathy, paano siya makikibagay, makikitungo sa ibang tao? And self-control, kahit walang nakabantay, kahit walang nakatingin, gagawa ba siya ng tama? Yes, kung meron siyang self-control. And then, the 4 remaining ones are these: respect, kindness, tolerance, and fairness. Okay, well, it's 11:35. We've been here for 2 hours, more than 2 hours. Sorry about that. So we will have to end. But again, like what I reminded you about kahapon, please make sure you take advantage of the, let me just flash it on screen again. Please take advantage of the so many available materials that I posted in the Facebook page. I saw many of you already, no, nag-join ng group, and nakapost na doon both the morning session and the afternoon session recordings. This one will be there in an hour or so. So please, if you have not yet done so, look for the group, join, and I will let you in and download as many as you can. And um, as a reminder, in case you urgently need the certificate, you cannot wait for me to send um, total in all the certificates to your coordinator. Then send me an email, and I can immediately send you the certificate, which looks like this, that indicates 2 hours of self-directed learning. Pero ang classification niya is international seminar online because signed by Dr. Thomas Licona. Great. We will resume this afternoon with better classroom management at 2 p.m. Okay? And at 1:30, more Jollibee commercials for those who want to um, follow the Jollibee teleseries. And thank you to all of you for joining us this morning. And enjoy your lunch and your break. And I'll see you again at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Um, have a great day. I'll end the meeting in 3, 2, thank you very much, and 1. See you later.